What's going on, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages, Joker back again once again, and before we start the video, I do want to apologize if I sound really sick, because my sinuses are not having fun with the constant weather changing. So as I'm sure many of you already know, but for the few that don't, recently I've been doing a series called Greatest Flexes in Destiny Lore. It's a celebration of not only some of the coolest stories and moments in Destiny lore, but some of the stellar writing and storytelling that make those moments so impactful. So going from there back to Destiny and seeing the way that the storytelling has sort of devolved in the franchise really got me thinking, what are the issues with storytelling and why does it feel so lazy? And can we fix them? If not for future Destiny 2 content, then perhaps for Destiny 3. Now before we get into it, I want to make sure it's absolutely clear what I'm talking about when I talk about storytelling. Storytelling has little to do with the quality of the story being told. Storytelling is the way that the story is being communicated. So this isn't going to be an indictment one way or another on the quality of the narrative present in Destiny, just the way that that narrative is being communicated. And to be fair, at least as far as the lore goes, Shadowkeep and Season of the Undying and Season of the Dawn have been notable improvements over, say, Season of Opulence, where everything was just kind of fanfiction and unreliable. Good storytelling can make a bad or boring narrative interesting. Mario and Zelda have a lot of the same story elements. Go save the princess. It's how they convey that information that changes the depth and complexity of such simple concepts. In one, the princess has been kidnapped. In the other, the princess may be locked in eternal mortal combat to seal an ancient evil away. Two very different ways of communicating these same general tropes. So the way that the story is told matters. If good storytelling can enhance common tropes or boring ideas or even a bad storytelling can steal the thunder of a good story or outright ruin it. Video games are a visual medium. Gasp, shock, horror, lightning crackle, lightning crackle, lightning crackle, I know. Welcome to my TED Talk. And in being a visual medium, games have various ways of telling stories. Cinematically, through dialogue, through ambient environment, and different games will engage with different formats depending on the genre of game. Destiny or Halo might employ cinematic storytelling with over-the-comms conversations and environmental storytelling, where something like Pokemon or Fire Emblem might use cinematic storytelling coupled with a more visual novel format of storytelling. Destiny also utilizes what I'll blanket term a grimoire. These are, of course, the old Destiny 1 grimoire cards, but for this discussion, it will also be lore tabs and the new lore books. Now, being a lore-heavy game, everything has some form of lore to it, be it weapon and armor flavor text, be it quest steps and their flavor text. Reading these are not requisite for your enjoyment of the game or the story. If nothing else, these are here to enhance your enjoyment of the game. However, since Forsaken, Bungie has adopted what I'll call a tell, don't show format of telling stories. This is anytime you walk up to a vendor or a quest giver, and where normally the quest giver would tell you something, now a sprawling page of text aligns the side of your screen. Bonus points if the NPC actually starts talking, but then gives you a page of text to read. As if Bungie remembered halfway through that they were paying the voice actor by the word and decided to cut them off mid-explanation. And while in traditional writing, the level of character detail described in this text-based insert would be showing, not telling, Destiny is not a book. Destiny is a high-budget, $300 million earned in 2019 AAA video game. It is a visual medium, not a novel, not a visual novel. Here's a really good example of what I'm talking about and why it hurts the momentum of the story. During the first Saint 14 mission, we have this interaction with Saint.
I probably shouldn't be showing you this, but when has that ever stopped us? This is the last safe city of humanity, hundreds of years from now. During the day, there are children laughing in the streets. When night falls, the people sleep in their homes, not against the walls, weapons in hand, like the early days.
Like my people.
These are your people, Saint. They're descendants. If you quit the fight, maybe you'll live forever. Your ghost will protect you no matter what. But this last city might never happen.
Everything I've ever built has died. I've buried most of the people I've met. I can't do this. Not anymore.
We all make our own choices. Good luck, Titan.
This is a great interaction and very decent storytelling, but then when we return to Mercury to bring the news to Osiris, what do we get? We get a wall of text, telling us how Osiris is taking this development, not showing us through the visual medium that is games. I wanted to see Osiris react, not to be presented anticlimactically with a wall of text. More so when there's nothing really presented in this wall of text that couldn't have been conveyed by the voice actor. Even if they decide to do as little animation or recycle as much animation as possible, a good voice actor can and will convey emotion just through their voice alone, even if you can't see their face or there's very little body language communicated. In fact, sometimes less is more.
It was my job to take care of you.
We were supposed to take care of each other. And we did.
Cortana, please.
And it's not like Bungie is incapable of doing this sort of thing. They do exactly that when we see Saint 14 return to the tower.
Look at this place. I cannot believe what this city has become. To be home again. To hear of the Red War and see the scars. So much has changed. I was not here when the city needed me most. But regret does not serve us. We must look to the future. We must find hope again. There is no more time to waste. On my journey here, I wondered how the city could best use me. Now I think I know. Together we will shine brighter. We will build a beacon to call all who are lost home. You will fight, and I will build. But for now, my skull needs rest.
Now, of course, I understand that animating these scenes would take time. That said, any time limits placed on the franchise at this point are placed there by Bungie. When Shadowkeep was pushed back, the general consensus was that this was a good thing because it allowed the game to spend more time being polished, to varying degrees of success. And perhaps I'm merely speaking for myself, but I'd rather a really good DLC once or twice a year than something clearly designed to be nothing more than time filler and justify Eververse updates 4 times a year. More so given that not only are these DLCs lackluster in quality and have depreciated in quality since the Activision split, now that it's all up to Bungie and they don't have the help of High Moon Studios or Vicarious Visions. But Bungie themselves have stated that keeping up with this kind of content release schedule was hard for them, and they said that in a time when they had 2 other studios working on this content in tandem. So why would they double down on a format that's not only hard and stressful on the employees, but delivers subpar content? Oh yeah, $300 million in digital sales in 2019 alone. That sounds like a reason why they would do that. So how do we fix this? Well, the simplest way would be for Bungie to just put a little more work into animating these moments. It doesn't have to be full-on choreographed interaction, but then again, if they can mocap this, they can mocap Osiris being slightly more emotive when he's talking. Speaking of talking, have the voice actors actually speak the dialogue. I mean, why do we even have these walls of text? It seems kind of redundant. And again, maybe it's just me, but it's rather irritating when an interaction starts and ends abruptly, only for me to be pulled out of the moment and then suddenly have the way that I interact with the medium change completely. It totally breaks any immersion that had up until that point been achieved. Another way that they could fix this, and of course this would be a pipe dream, but it would be something along the lines of a Mass Effect, Dragon Age, Witcher, and many other games dialogue system. And this sort of system would play more into the role-playing aspect of the game. I mean, imagine for an instant if we had quests that consist of more than go kill 500 Cabal, go tediously plant beacons, go tediously collect items? What if we had diplomacy? What if we had to interact with different factions? Because as much as Bungie keeps wanting to tell me that Destiny is an MMORPG action game, from where I'm sitting, all I'm seeing is a first-person shooter like Halo with extra steps. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below, and if you like this video, remember to leave a like, hit that subscribe button for more, and if you're feeling generous, you can always support me on Patreon. But above all else, stay frosty.